Also, to turn on stealth, a lot of people that have never ran stealth is actually default letter M on your keyboard. Hey, what's going on, guys? Phil here, and welcome back to another Mechwarrior Online favorite build review. We're going to be talking about the Enforcer today. And again, just like the last with the Dervish, this one was a little bit more difficult. And I'll say this for this reason. It's difficult because I generally don't play this mech very often. And when I do, it's gone through some iterations. And I would say the runner-up is the 4P, and that's because it has an AC-20 or the capability to run a AC-20 in the right arm. But now you're competing with another 50-tonner, the Hunchback 4G, or another 50-tonner, the Yenlo Wang, or 9AH. So for me, it's one of those things where I gravitate because I'm a meta, I'm chasing the dragon, if you will. I'm chasing that performance. I generally just gravitate towards the Ghillie. And in this particular setup, we have the Gauss rifle and 4 mediums, or ER mediums if you want a little bit more optimal for that sort of sniper play. Now, the cool thing with the Enforcer is that, it's got in this particular case, you have ECM capability and stealth capability. And if you have the capability of having ECM, you have the capability of having stealth. And in this case, you have a very long-range weapon with the Gauss rifle. You have stealth technology, and for those that don't know, if you've ever noticed that little annoying flea or light mech running around you, like the Commando, and you could barely see it on thermals or hardly at all, that is what stealth does. So this gives this mech that is pretty large as far as the overall presence of it, and just a little added protection, especially on some of those darker maps or just where people are always running around in thermals. Gives you a little bit more stealth capability. Now, there are some pros and cons to this setup, and I'll go ahead and be frank. One, you're vulnerable because if a light mech finds you, you're probably going to die. Two, you are a humanoid, as far as animations are concerned and geometry. Your legs are vulnerable, your arms are vulnerable. They're some of the biggest parts about you. And the other part about the vulnerability is in this particular setup, we have an XL260, 3 tons of ammo. As you can see, you have an XL engine, and that's going to be the other trade-off, which is you're vulnerable to a side torso blow-off. But I mean, that's the whole deal with this chassis, and this is why it would be my favorite, is because you can do shenanigans with the stealth build. I mean, you'll be surprised how many times someone will run right past you in the middle of combat, or they'll just run past you because they're just not paying attention, and you can do some shenanigans. Now, the other, I would say, con is this particular setup is vulnerable to positioning, and that's good or bad. So if you're good at positioning, you can do well in this. If you're bad at positioning, you can find yourself in trouble if someone spots you. Again, if you're shooting people in the back with a Gauss rifle, don't follow up immediately with lasers because they can see that burn time, especially if you're using the ERs, which have a little bit longer laser duration. So just sort of keep that in mind. We're going to go pop into a match, check this out in action, and I'll show you how to best utilize it as far as I'm concerned. But of course, you've seen others out there. This isn't like anything new. It's not a new setup. But it's one of those things where there aren't many intersphere mechs that have ECM in the medium category. And then the ability to do stealth along with some long-range firepower. So let's go ahead, dive in, and have some fun, shall we? All right, of course, first thing we're going to do is play around with our weapon groups. As the Gauss rifle's on the right arm, I tend to do something a little bit different. I tend to switch over my right and left weapons. So for instance, lasers will be group 1 and group 2. And then group 3 will be the Gauss rifle. And that just sort of helps me with how I handle things in my head. Also, to turn on stealth, a lot of people that have never ran stealth is actually default letter M on your keyboard. You'll notice down there on the UI, active armor stealth, you'll see the cooldown here. And you do have a cooldown. If you get hit with PPC, you'll be deactivated, of course. And then as soon as you can, hit M and you'll see the green bar, and that's active. And again, that mainly just shields you from thermal. As you can see here, yourself thermal versus normal vision. Now, of course, that doesn't change the fact of someone can just see you and shoot you. But a lot of the time, if they're running heat vision, which they do, they just run right past you. Also, keep in mind, you can't cap when you're stealthed. And if that is something that you need to do, make sure to turn that off. I've actually seen matches lost because said individual did not turn off their stealth as well. Looks like we had something right there. And watch friendly, just jump right in front of me there. Definitely don't want to trade. This isn't something that I want to play the trade game with. Got quite a bit of forces over there. As you can see here, with stealth on, you actually do not dissipate heat very well. So just sort of keep that in mind. So sometimes you just need a little bit of a break. You just switch that off, especially when you're at distance from your targets, right? And you don't have to necessarily worry about heat. We're just gonna apply some pressure. That should probably be making him feel pretty good right there. He's gonna go around to his friendlies. And again, I'm just gonna stay at range here and see what happens. I think they're down in Echo 6. Yeah, it looks like they're crossing. So let's go ahead and get up here. Yep, there's a catapult down there. As soon as we see a jester, I will be shooting that. I'm gonna go ahead and switch off that as well. Back up here, reposition, and we go back around. We do have some really good players on the other team. So this may go south very quickly, but we're gonna do the best we can here with what we got. Go ahead and switch back on thermals. As we're coming around here, our assault is already getting hammered, and it looks like they're going to be pushing our other one very quick. So he's over there by himself, sort of spread out here. Let me see if I can provide some support. Looks like there's at least 3 or 4 mechs over there. And again, I don't care who you are. That's going to be a little rough to get away from. So we're going to reposition here. Again, they can visually see you, they can hit you. And we have someone up on the ridge. That is the Jester. That is the mech that was crit previously. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop him here. I think he might have seen me. Oh, he's dead, okay. So I'm gonna hit cool shot. I'm gonna remain stealth here as they run right past me. Go ahead and jump down here. Do the best I can here. If I shoot right now, he's gonna know where I'm at, so I'm just gonna remain a little bit stealthy, see if we can get a back hit here. Okay. Okay, there we go. That's a they're down. Let's see if we can maneuver here. All right. He's using thermals. If I move, I'm not gonna move. Okay, we're gonna maneuver here. Obviously, if he's using thermals, he can't see me very well. Unfortunately, this is where this is gonna get a little tricky. All right, he knows where I'm at. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off my thermals here. It's gonna help me out in a few ways. It's gonna help me out the ability to fire. Okay, there's one down. I'm gonna go flip around, get ready. He is also CT. I'm gonna shield here, do the best I can. See if maybe that. Yeah, there's nothing I can do here. Let's go for a center torso. Spread the damage. Woo, spicy. We're gonna see if we can get this. All right, one more touch maybe, and I'm down. So I did the best I could, but I think positioning went really well there, and I think it showcased the use of having stealth on and having it off. Obviously, this build is meant for damage over time and back shots and being sneaky. And of course, I didn't have that opportunity because I had to turn off my stealth as soon as I engaged. But we're really close, and again, this is one of those builds that it's usually all in or all out, but positioning, I think we did a really good job there, so yeah. Okay, so on hindsight, I could have also just maneuvered behind the enemy while they were rotating, and I could have kept up at least the flanking as well. I think that might have been a little bit better as far as positioning, but we had really good players on the other side, so again, I made use of what I could. And once I knew the enemy was going to be cutting in front of me, going towards friendlies, keeping the stealth on, dropping down, I was able to do some damage and of course get some kills that not necessarily I would have been able to do beforehand. Again, this is one of those things where I don't use the Enforcer very often, but for this being my favorite build, again, you can see why you can pull off some shenanigans with it. And of course, you can go all in with just ammo as far as the Gauss rifle and just plink and sit up somewhere. You can also do that. But I like to be a little bit more strategic when it comes to placement. Going for those back shots, you saw that particular Victor actually looked past me, and you can tell he's using thermals because well, he would have saw me just if I was right in front of him. Now, that all being said, when you do engage with that Gauss rifle, don't always follow it up with laser burn. That doesn't always help you. Sometimes that will give your position away. Wait till they turn their back, hit them again, and for instance, we were able to basically shoot the Victor in front of the Uzil. The Uzil came running right past us, and we were able to engage. And so it just sort of sets you up. The lasers sometimes give away your position, and so many people use thermals, especially on that for contrast, that you can just sort of just stand still. If I would have moved at all when that Victor was looking at me, I do feel that he would have seen me and spotted me immediately. So sometimes you got to pull some Jurassic Park and just stand very still. It's not always going to work out for you, but I hope you guys found this enjoyable. And of course, if you guys have any questions about these builds that I'm talking about, the best way to do it is join me live at twitch.tv/NGNGTV, where I stream Monday through Friday, 12 to 6 p.m. You can ask questions live. We have a great time. Sometimes I get thrown in some pretty ridiculous matches and mechs with some requests. And of course, we can just talk about all Battletech Mechwarrior or just in general. So make sure to join me over there. I'll have a link down below for that and Discord and a bunch of other stuff. If you haven't checked it out, make sure to do so. Thank you again for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Click that like button. And if you are new to the channel or you've been here multiple times and if you haven't done it, I encourage you to click that subscribe button. That's all I'm going to say about that. You should do it. Until next time.